Many strides, one dream. Many heartbeats, one pulse. Sagicor, celebrating Jamaican success. The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock.
My day has come, the race has begun. I've traveled the seas, I've traveled the waters. Once I was weak, now I'm much stronger. I've worked in the sun, look what I've become. I've conquered the beast, now I'm much greater. I've learned from a failure. Dedication, discipline and drive. Seizing every moment that comes up in this life.
Jamaica's favorite drama, Your Guilty Pleasure.
You listen to me, is it, Trevor Madden? I don't want you to gamble with my life or the lives of our children.
Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, PNP demands transparency on health sector. Family of dead suspect claims killing was unjust, and Belizean opposition leader courting Jamaican political leaders.
Also this evening, conch season closes. Fisherfolk urged to take heed. In the business report, the latest market summary. And in sports, South Africa dominate day 2 of second test against the West Indies in Guyana. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm TK Dawkins.
And I'm Curlin Brown. It is Friday, August 16, 2024. The University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, has temporarily stopped accepting patient transfers. Now, the Type A Regional Referral Hospital cites an overwhelming influx in its emergency room.
With 90% of the cases related to chronic non-communicable diseases in an ER at capacity, the opposition PNP is demanding greater transparency from the Ministry of Health. Ramon Gordon reports.
The University Hospital of the West Indies yesterday announced a temporary halt on patient transfers, citing an overflow of patients in its emergency room. The hospital reports that 90% of these cases involve complications from non-communicable diseases, leading to the ER reaching capacity. In a release, the UHWI urged private and public hospitals, as well as nursing homes, to retain stable patients until the situation improves. It's this latest development that has led the opposition spokesperson on health and wellness, Dr. Alfred Dawes, to demand a transparency from the Health Ministry.
The Ministry of Health immediately needs to advise the nation of how they plan to address this crisis.
The University Hospital of the West Indies is one of 3 Type A hospitals locally, the other 2 being Kingston Public and the still under repair Cornwall Regional. Dawes says this latest challenge will cause major disruptions across the health sector, with KPH left to bear the brunt.
This in turn is going to have a knock-on effect on all hospitals because they, when faced with the need to transfer critically ill patients, are now going to be left stuck monitoring and treating those patients in suboptimal environments.
This latest crisis comes as the island continues to recover from Hurricane Beryl, which pummeled southern parishes and left some health centres in disrepair.
Those that have been impacted in a significant way, meaning roof loss, we have made alternative arrangements to relocate the services. But in the meantime, the benefits we have as a health system is that persons can go to their public hospital or to a health centre that is closest to where they are.
The local health ministry recently issued a call for vigilance as the World Health Organization WHO declared monkeypox a public health emergency of international concern. While making no specific reference to that case, Dawes believes the situation at UHWI is untenable.
We're going to see a situation where the morbidity and the mortality rates are going to go up across the island if we cannot get back to the situation where the sickest patients can be transferred to a Type A hospital.
Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
To another developing story now out of Clarendon. The family of a man tied to the recent mass shooting in Cherry Tree Lane is making serious allegations against crime fighters, claiming their loved one who was killed in a police operation this week was unjustly slain. Once again, our reporter is Ramon Gordon.
The family of a suspect tied to Sunday's mass shooting in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon, is claiming their kin was unlawfully executed.
Policeman hold him in a shot bag here, so no gun, no nothing. When they call him back, me bow, and me say, I legal firearm, then fire one outside for say a shootout.
Yeah. On Wednesday, August 14, the police gunned down Steve Smith, also called Thicker, in Osborne Store, Clarendon, whom they claim was also wanted in connection with several other murders and contract killings across Clarendon and other parishes. The police pinned him as a prime suspect in the massacre and claimed he died in a shootout.
Him have one little blue marina and one little black shots could almost become underpants when dead enough.
That can't hold up on our way.
When they kill him in a van, then tear off the marina of him when they kill him because they have him a grung all about a tap in him head. Oh, you have somebody a grung all about a tap in their head. That means he surrender by now then. Even if you claim saying they have a gun, that story don't make no sense.
Another relative of the now deceased suspect claimed he ran to seek refuge from the authorities in her home. She said even then he feared for his life and claimed innocence.
You don't hold him. If him do anything, if you don't want him, you don't hold him. Carry me now because him just like, I just want to look at something say, you know. Mr. Carry me in, man. You not kill him. Do me, I beg you not kill him, carry me in. And then stand up. Then stand up in our neck. Miss one of them. And then it's like, me go down on him. Because he hold me, you know, hold on to me tight, very tight. Because now let me go. And then pull him and pull me straight out. When me reach right round there, so me hear one shot. And me say, Lord, then kill him. And me not go back round there.
So you claim to say you suspect him, carry me in, for you hold him. And not ask me, ask if you hold him. Me see when they hold him, came right here, so. And the police draw him back, so.
And I say, shoot him.
Right? Draw him back. And like he asks him, say, what if you do with him? And the other one say, kill him.
This most damning claim comes as another suspect tied to last Sunday's mass shooting was arrested yesterday, August 15, by Mapen police. The man, who was already on bail for a previous shooting, was positively identified by lawmen and is now in custody. This is a developing story. Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
3 men were fatally shot after a reported standoff with police during an alleged robbery in Poor Man's Corner, St. Thomas. The head of the St. Thomas Police Division says the area has seen an increase in break-ins, with over $2 million worth of goods stolen in the last 3 weeks. Our reporter Courtney Lewis has the details.
Progressive liquor store owner Kelvin Walker was not expecting the news that his store had been broken into by armed men on Wednesday night.
I was at home. I get a call that the place is open. Based upon the time that the door would have been open, it's earlier than normal. So somebody passing by saw it, notify me, and when I come out and saw the police, and I was told that I can't go inside the building.
That's because the alleged thieves were cut down swiftly by police during crossfire after Walker made an alarm.
He apparently visited the establishment and was confronted by men with firearms who was breaking in the establishment. Gunfire was exchanged. As a result, the businessman alerted the police, who appeared on the scene. The police accompanied the businessman in the Grand Spen area in pursuit of a vehicle or vehicles that were involved in the exchange of gunfire. There in the Grand Spen community, the police came on 2 suspicious-looking cars with men who opened gunfire at them. In defense of their life, the police returned the gunfire. When the shooting subsided, 2 men were found suffering from gunshot wounds.
Superintendent Alison Byfield, commanding officer for the St. Thomas Division, says 2 men involved in the shooting were pronounced dead at hospital on Thursday morning. But they were not the only ones involved.
A further check of the business establishment in the Poorman's Corner area. One man was found also suffering from gunshot wound. He was also rushed to Princess Margaret Hospital, where he was pronounced dead.
This is just one of the latest break-ins dogging the parish.
What we realize is that this area has been suffering from break-ins in recent times. We're relentless in our pursuit to have this area under control, to contain the break-ins in this area. And we believe what's happened this morning is a big dent in the break-ins that has been happening into the Yalas and surrounding areas, where gaming boxes and liquors are stolen.
CVM News understands the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is investigating the matter. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness visited the hurricane-damaged sections of the East Coast Highway this week, where technical experts examined the damage and charted the way forward. Adrian Williams shares the outcome of the assessments.
All roads led to St. Thomas Wednesday, where the Prime Minister and his team assessed the sections of the East Coast Highway which were badly damaged by the passage of Hurricane Beryl. But what caused this damage?
But not all material in the certified quarry would be up to grade. And therefore there is always this residual risk that you could take materials that is not up to grade, which is why you do the road tests themselves.
Senior Director in charge of project implementation at the National Works Agency, NWA, Vardan Downer, provided greater insight into the damage.
What you have is a contamination of the good quality material with some of the bad material that is nearby. Construction do have these things that happens, notwithstanding the quality management, and part of the quality assurance is to pick it up and to have it corrected, and that's what we're doing.
The PM endorsed the fact that citizens do not need to worry, elaborating that systems are in place to prevent these occurrences.
But the important thing to note is that the failures have occurred within the contract period. So the contract period has not ended. So this is even outside of the defect liability. This is in the contract period. So this road is still under contract. The contractor has an obligation to deliver the road to a particular standard. Now, when the contract is finished and the road is handed over, you still have what is called the defects liability period of 2 years.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
And we'll continue with more local stories right after this.
The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, or BSJ as we are known, has been serving and helping Jamaican businesses to grow for over 54 years, now testing over 57,000 products annually. The BSJ develops and promotes standards for products consumers see and use every day. We stand tall as your quality assurance partner, testing a range of products including foods, construction materials, petroleum products, packaging material, cosmetics, paints, and pharmaceuticals. Did you know that the BSJ has over 20 labs in Kingston that conduct these tests, operating at the highest international standards, giving you the speed to take your products from the lab to market, driving your business growth with 100% confidence.
The race has begun, I've traveled the seas, I've traveled the waters. Once I was weak, now I'm much stronger. I've worked in the sun, look what I've become. I've conquered the beast, now I'm much greater. I've learned from a failure. Dedication, discipline and drive, seizing every moment that comes up in this life.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Picking up on Prime Minister Andrew Holness's trip to St. Thomas, He told stakeholders, despite damage to sections of the thoroughfare during the hurricane, their plan is a better one than what was initially presented by the previous PNP administration. Adrian Williams returns to the east for this report.
Road access is one of the driving forces connecting a country's people to productivity. Earlier this week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, in his tour of the East Coast Highway, highlighted that the previous administration's plan for the roadway would not significantly allow communities to benefit from the road infrastructure.
The idea is not to use the road to disenfranchise the existing residents and businesses and so forth. It's to improve it, it's to develop an economy. And then over time, people can make the decision that I want to relocate from here to go somewhere better. But if you just move the road, people wouldn't have the wherewithal, the means. They wouldn't be able to benefit from the investment. So it's a more thoughtful decision-making process.
During the construction of various legs of the highway, the government was ridiculed for the lengthy time the roadworks lasted.
I think the government got a lot of blame for inconvenience. So that's a challenge, that's a balance you have to strike when you're doing a greenfield road versus a new road. Which is, and by the way, this is not at all.
A greenfield road is one constructed on a new alignment, while a brownfield road is developed along an already existing network, which is the case for the East Coast Highway. Plans are also in motion for another road development further inland.
We'll still have this road, it will still be in good condition, but over time, the intention is to move commerce and residents and other activities more inland, and then have this road now as a more scenic, touristic route that, if it is impacted by weather, the loss is not so great. So that's a long-term strategic thing.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
Our reporter Britannia Witter now concludes the baby harmony story with reactions from family members desperate for timely responses to give this toddler a fighting chance.
You've met Harmony Fraser, otherwise called Baby Harmony. She's a 2-year-old girl from Alligator Pond, Manchester, currently battling with hypoxic brain injury after suffering a cardiac arrest. The sickness left Baby Harmony unable to carry out motor functions that she was once more than capable of doing. Her elder sister, 9-year-old Skylar Fraser, says having her sister home is all that matters.
Since she's come home, it's like I feel better with her around me. And a lot of emotional baggage is like taken off.
However, much like her parents, Harmony's grandmother, Monica MacDonald, wants her grandchild back to the way she was before.
I could not believe that's the baby I leave here, because I take a picture before I leave to go back to America. And when I see the baby in this condition, and when I came here in June, that's the time I get the shock of my life is see her fully now, the person where I see first. The good baby is a different baby.
Meanwhile, the councillor for the Alligator Pond Division, Omar Robinson, says local organizations have started to mobilize to assist Baby Harmony and her family during this challenging time.
It's going to take at least $30,000 US for this procedure. I would have contacted some of my connections. I will not disclose how much they will contribute, but definitely they will make their mark for this project. And also we'll have a cookout. And let me tell you, that cookout was planned for August, but burial came and we had to switch it to October. Just give people some time to recover, and we call on every single body who wants to support this. Baby Harmony deserves to live a better life. She deserves to live a normal life, and that is why I am on board. When I came here today and I saw the condition that she is in now compared to what she was when at age 1, bouncing, vibrant baby girl, and we want to get her as close as possible to that.
Those who wish to assist are being asked to make donations to Harmony's GoFundMe or to the banking information displayed on the screen. Britannia Witter, CVM News.
The opposition leader of Belize is in Jamaica, running a shadow diplomatic campaign with political leaders and entertainers. at a time when both Belize and Jamaica head into an election season. The politician sat with CVM's Jonathan Atkins to, among other things, discuss his prospects for election victory and his hopes for bilateral relations between Jamaica and Belize.
A popular feature on the mainstream international media, former Bad Boy Records poster boy turned opposition leader of Belize, Moses Shine Barrow, sat down with CVM Today for an exclusive during his trip to Jamaica. With a stacked itinerary, having meetings with the who's who of Jamaican politics and business not to be outdone, recently released entertainer Vybz Kartel found himself on the hot list of the VIP courtesy calls from the Belizean opposition leader, becoming the first known international recording artist to visit Kartel. Sympathetic to Kartel's plight, Barrow, often referred to as Shine, was involved in a highly publicized incident in 1999 in a New York nightclub, where he was subsequently convicted on gun charges and served almost 10 years in New York State Prison.
In 2016, I visited Vybz Kartel at the Horizon Adult Facility here in Kingston. It was about 8 years ago in 2016, September, right around this time, as a matter of fact. And so as two artists, you know, there was a bond there, there's a connection there, and certainly as someone who was incarcerated and, you know, the judicial system grants people the presumption of innocence, right? And so he was never convicted. Well, he was convicted, but then it was overturned on the appeal, and he has maintained his innocence all the while. And so, you know, I joined him in his fight for justice, his fight for freedom. Having been someone who was wrongfully incarcerated myself, I maintained my innocence as well, despite being convicted, and I did not have the fortune of having my conviction overturned.
While finding meaning in the visit with the man they call the world boss, Barrow is focused on a campaign of meeting with world leaders and visits to key allies, with a diplomatic dress rehearsal for his prime ministerial ambitions.
My policy as opposition leader to strengthen ties with leaders all throughout the Caribbean, in the United States, throughout Europe, Africa, etc. I believe that much can be gained from having stronger relationships with fellow leaders, whether it be the prime ministers or the opposition leaders or presidents or even members of Congress and Senate.
Very much aware that elections are nigh for Jamaica, shrewd diplomacy was the order of the day, with Barrow not hedging his bets with just one political party, while admitting his ideological solidarity with the governing Jamaica Labour Party.
Certainly leading up to the elections, I felt it was important to visit with the Prime Minister as the chairman of the Caribbean Democratic Union. I also made a courtesy call to the opposition leader, Honorable Mark Golding.
Moses Shine Barrow is the son of former Prime Minister and former leader of the United Democratic Party in Belize. After being first elected to the Parliament of Belize, Barrow succeeded his father as a party leader after a crushing defeat of the party at the general polls. In 2021, he was first sworn in as leader of the opposition. Tune in on Sunday for part 2 of the interview, where Barrow addresses issues of division with his party and his chances of becoming Prime Minister.
CVM News at 7 returns with the business report after a moment.
It is a Egypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Head back to school with all you need from Quartz. Get huge savings on laptops, tablets, smart devices, and everything they need for the new term. Shop smartphones starting at $15,999 and laptops starting at $69,999. Plus, get 20% off office desks, chairs, and bookcases, and 10% off printers. Shop for them today and pay later. Welcome back to school with all you need at Quartz. Bringing value home. Offers end August 31. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for staying with us. Now, as with many rare fish species, a closed season allows the fish time to reproduce as well as prevent extinction. The closed season for queen conch, which commenced on Wednesday, will not end until next year. And there are restrictions that the National Fisheries Authority have put in place for fisherfolk. Trisha Gay Kelly has the details.
The 2024-2025 close season for queen conch commenced on August 15. This means fisherfolk should not be purchasing, collecting,